Hello, happy Monday. At some point in time when you stop and listen, I have such a neat moment to share with you. So normally when I go on runs, I bring my phone, which is what I'm looking at right now, and I put my AirPods in and I listen to a podcast or I listen to music or whatnot, something that inspires me, keeps me going, keeps me entertained in this 4-mile loop that I do. And this day was extra special. And let me tell you why. So, and I hope if this is your lunch break, that you stop for a minute and message me. And that's why I do Facebook Lives, is so I can see you and interact with you a little bit. But I just cannot wait to share how special this moment in time, called the Kairos moment. Look it up. Kairos, Kairos. It's like this spiritual time frame, not like our chronological time frame. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Janet. Hi, Shay. Listen to this Kairos moment. Listen to how beautiful this experience, these flowers. I'll explain why I'm even holding on to these flowers. I really wanted to share this message right after my run, but I didn't have my phone in my hand. So let me get back to that. So normally when I go on my runs, I have my phone, I have my AirPods, I got my dog, Jagger. He's running me around the neighborhood, this 4-mile loop. This time I felt this nudge. I just felt my own voice in my head, which is really the Holy Spirit, because it's filled with love and potential and possibility. It's always for good. And I felt like, leave your phone at home and just spend time, just you and me, says God. God, Jesus, Holy Spirit, all the same. Just spend time with me on this run. And I can tell why that would have been a good idea, and I won't get into all that backstory. I really, really needed it more than I'll ever know. Whenever I get that nudge, it's like, trust me, you need this time. So I'm on a run. I don't know if I can't even remember the last time I went on a run without holding my cell phone. And I don't have like the cell phone hook on my arm or anything, because I'm always interacting. I get inspirational nuggets. I sometimes stop and do lives. I'm just really interacting. And so this time it was like, I can't even tell you the last time. I don't think I ever left my phone at home. Okay, so I could tell this was going to be a big thing. So I left my phone at home, just so fun, pure expectancy, like this must be, something's going on. So this is a neighborhood. I live in just a neighborhood area. So my jog is on a main road. If there's a couple, the 4-mile loop, the block, only one of the miles is in my own neighborhood. The other 3 are on the main road in my city. And so I am going on my jog. There's Jagger and I, and it does feel good. It feels different. And for me, just where I'm at in my life, I'm like, okay, God, what do you want to talk about? Like, what you want my undivided attention. So I'm praying as I feel led, and I conducted my prayers in my head. Instead of sitting down here in my home, I prayed for people that I love and talked to God about different people I loved and who do you want me to pray an extra special prayer for. So I'm just running, and then I start praying over my neighborhood, and then I start praying over the city, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. I've done this before. It's not like it's the first time, but I'm undivided attention. So I'm praying. So we get out of my neighborhood, go down the next block, and get to the main intersection, and I run into this guy. And he's on a bike, and his bike is fully adorned with like, I don't even remember. It's just, it has a lot of stuff on it, and he's got lots of jewelry on, and he really caught my attention. And a lot of people like to see my dog Jagger, who's a German short hair pointer. And so he usually draws people's attention. And so the very first time I saw this guy, he's coming off the main road, and we're coming together at like, come on, not an accident. I'm jogging, he's coming on a road, he's coming off the main road, and he kind of slows down, and he says something about my dog Jagger. And I said, yeah, I think he said, is he a German short hair pointer or something? He knew. And I said, yes, it's a German short hair pointer. I said, he's very busy. He runs me. And we talk a little bit about my dog. But that's not why we're there. We are not there for my dog. So, Kevin. So I meet Kevin. And he is different looking. He is, a little bit rough around the edges. I've got a lot going on in my mind that I'm processing, and then he starts sharing what's going on in his mind, in his world, and it's not good. And becomes a point where he says to me, he says he's struggling. He says he chooses to be an alcoholic. He chooses to drink. I get to know his name. I said, what is your name? Somehow we get to know each other's name. I said, and I'm feeling safe to have these conversations. It's right in the main intersection of my city. And I'm just stopping, and Jagger's like hanging out and being petted by him. And there's Kevin the alcoholic, he says. That's what he names himself. And so I just was listening. And just to get to the point of why I'm sharing this message with you is, and stopping my run. And I did say to Kevin, I said, what's so weird, Kevin, is this is meant to happen, because normally I have AirPods in and I'm listening to something, and that's not true, because actually I do stop. I do often stop. If people cross my path and God gives me a nudge, I'll stop. But in this situation, I wanted to prove a point to him. I'm like, I just want you to know, normally I'm distracted. I think I was meant to run into you today. And he's like, I think so too, in so many words. And I said, I'm sorry, so much is going on. There's a lot going on in my world too. And the really miraculous thing is that I don't even know what to say, what part of it in this Kairos moment. Meaning it's a moment in time that is not chronological, not an accident. It has a divine appointment. If we're willing to be intentional and self-reflective and live in the moment, and this is a divine interaction. So I'm thinking to God, I'm talking to God within my own mind, and I'm listening to Kevin. And I said, Kevin, just out of curiosity, and this is still not a comfort of mine, but I'm like, Kevin, just out of curiosity, with everything you've got going on, do you believe in God? Do you get to pray to God and talk to God about stuff? And he goes, oh, if I didn't have Jesus, I wouldn't be alive. And I said, that is really powerful. And then I shared some things in my world also, and what God, what Jesus, what the Holy Spirit's done for me. And he gets off his bike, and again, he's adorned with all this jewelry, and the jewelry is attached to a bracelet. He's got all this stuff on it. He's just very different, very eccentric. And I'll just kind of wrap this part up, because I don't know if I'll have the human language to totally pinpoint what divine experience I had. I just knew it was this heavenly experience in this moment. And so he just shared his hardships, and he shared how he's he goes, no, I'm not homeless. I'm not homeless. And he's just mentioning good things he's going through, but also his hardships and people who've helped him along the way. And he's like, it's just, unfortunately, I'm choosing to drink instead of, he didn't even say anything. He just said, I'm choosing to drink. I'm an alcoholic. And I don't know even what I said next. I was just in this moment. And in church, we just left this church on Sunday. This group of my friends and I were just talking about what is our belief system about moments like this? What's our belief in God and how he encounters us, maybe even through others? And are we willing to receive? What's our receivability? Do we receive in the moment? And this is running through my head, and I'm like, yeah, I believe this is a divine appointment from you, God, and I want to receive all that you have. And in this moment, I'm thinking, how can I love Kevin well? Because that's all I'm a Christian about. That's all about my Christianity I'm about. How can, in this moment, I believe in the heavenly realm so much that I can love someone in this moment that's so different than me, that possibly I should be a little afraid of, or is this a sketchy situation? I don't, and just just receive the love and give the love. Like, that is why I follow Jesus. That's the example I get from Jesus. And then I'll ask, like, what do you want me to do, God? What do you want me to do in this moment? So I just said, Kevin, I don't know when I said it. I just said, Kevin, I just want you to know. And this is from God, because I said, God, what do you want me to say? Do you want me to pray? Like, please don't have me pray. Don't have me like, what do you want me to do? I'm scared to do it, but I'll do it. I'm having this conversation in real time with God. And he goes, just tell him you love him. So I said, Kevin, I just want you to know, I love you. Like, this was meant to happen. And by this time he had gotten off his bike, and he's like, I want to give you something. And he goes in his backpack, and his backpack has all these different things in it. And he had just picked real flowers, and then he had these fake flowers, and he handed me real flowers, and then he handed me some fake flowers, and then he took back the fake flowers. He goes, no, those aren't good enough. I want you to have these flowers. So I am 1/4 through my run, maybe 2/4. I couldn't remember, whatever. And now, instead of having a cell phone in my hand, I've got flowers. And I said, Kevin, I'm on a run, but this was meant to be, Kevin. I said, so normally I have a cell phone in my hand, but I'm going to go on the rest of my run, and I'm going to have these flowers. And this is a gift. So, sometimes I'm interacting and I'm like, God, are you wanting me to love him well? And wait a minute, I think I just got loved well. I just received the love. I can't remember in this time. This is why I send messages right when I feel it, so I don't forget what it feels like to have this love encounter and then say it right away, because it's been hours and hours and hours. I showered and I had a meeting and all this other stuff and been doing work, and I forgot some of the tangible parts enough to say I ran the rest of the way with these flowers in my hand. I ran the rest of the way with these flowers in my hand. And I just kept saying, I think I said it once or twice, and I just said, Kevin, I love you. I love you, Kevin. So he gave me a hug at one time, and then this is when I'm like, God, should I be? And God's like, do not be afraid to hug this stranger. Receive. Believe that this is a heavenly experience. Receive the love that was both for me and to come through me to Kevin. And we shared some niceties. He gave me another hug. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay. And I just walked away. I said, Kevin, seriously, I really love you. This moment was purposeful. I just really feel like God wanted my undivided attention so that I wasn't distracted, to meet you, to say hello to you, to have this conversation. You've positively impacted my day, and I can't wait to do the rest of the run with these flowers. And then I'm running and I'm thinking, what are people thinking? I'm running around with flowers in my hand. And I thought, isn't that why, just one sec, honey. Isn't that why we are Christians? That's why I'm a Christian. So that even if I didn't have flowers in my hand and I just had a divine experience, that kind of love would exude, even if I'm seeing a passing car, or I'm just in my own family, or if I'm, at a grocery store or at a place of business, that like these divine, the flowers that are imaginary, that people can be around us as loving human beings, loving divine human beings. And like just by being around us and being love, that others can experience love just by being in our presence. And I'm not saying this is a me thing. I'm saying this is what the divine encounter, this is what heaven on earth is supposed to be like. So here, back to this tangible example, I'm running down my neighborhood blocks, and people are seeing me running with flowers. They only can think good thoughts. I can only imagine. They're like, why does she have flowers? But that's pretty cool. And then just the fun kind of wonder. And I just wonder if we show up willing to believe and receive and then do and be love. I received the love from Kevin, and I hope I know he received the love from Jesus through me. And then I had the rest of my run with flowers in my hand. And then anyone who happened to notice got to receive the overflow and the ripple effect, the reverberation of love from our divine encounter on the corner of a main busy road. This, I didn't have the distraction, even though they were good distractions. I love my motivational stuff that I listen to when I run, but I could have missed Kevin. So I don't know fully how you are receiving this message, what you're getting from it, but I can't keep this stuff to myself. So I will never, not that I can imagine, I will never throw these flowers away. They are from Kevin. Oh, and I'm like, what do you want me to title this? It's always interesting when I title things, like what's the bumper sticker? What is this all about? And I put, I love you, Kevin. And he called himself the alcoholic, which is a lie, we believe. It's true. It's a fact. It's a fact, I mean. He is an alcoholic. I'm not going to take that away from him, but that is not his identity. It's not his identity. He's not an alcoholic. He suffers from alcoholism, which is a disease, but that doesn't define him. I love Kevin, the man that God made. And I love him in his as-is state. And that's what Jesus is saying. That's who Jesus is. That's the message. That's the good news we share. That's the good news that will always come from my mouth as a Christian, as a Christ follower, is that I love who God made. And I will love and be willing to love a stranger, even in his alcoholic state. And I'm sure friends and families and the crisis that he's into in his life is not so easy to those who are in his inner circle. But God sends people. He sends more people to love us well, even when, no matter what. And then I titled this, and I love you, Tara, could be, and then I'm like, well, what would I title myself? And he goes, well, are you a fearful mama lately? And so isn't it interesting when we show up in life and the things that we're carrying and just some current events going on, am I more of a fearful mama or am I a free mom? Like just the human being that I am, that I don't have to be afraid, even though the circumstances may seem heavy or grim or hopeless or annoying or tireless or whatever. So no matter what, Kevin is loved well by the heavenly realm, and Tara is loved well by the heavenly realm, even when we're showing up in life as a fearful mom, will this work out? Or a alcoholic who is, he said with his own words, he does love Jesus. He's like, I love him. I don't know where I'd be. I would be dead if I didn't love Jesus. However, he's choosing to numb out. He's talking to me about this a little bit. He'd rather choose alcohol right now, and because he's in so much emotional pain, and he would rather numb that out with alcohol. But I love him nonetheless. This is what Jesus says. I love you even in this situation, no matter what, and even if. So that's what I titled this. But I have no idea how to title this Kairos moment. I have no idea ultimately the amazing immensity of what God is up to. I just do the best I can to share the message, have these flowers in my hand. I don't know if I'll ever run with flowers in my hand again, but that's just the best I can do. I don't know how to title these things. I don't know how to wrap my brain around the immensity and the amazingness and the gorgeousness of our heavenly God. Whew, thank God there's a God. All right, I love you all. Good to see you. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Steph. Hi, Jordan. Yes, pure love. Aside from the labels. Yes, absolutely. Courtney. Hi, friend. Hi, Mrs. Crownover. Hi, Barbara. Good to see all of you. Shay. I know. Isn't it a good story? Like, that's our God. Julie, nice to see you. Sunflowers mean unwavering faith and unconditional love. They do. I did not know that. Michelle. Aw, thanks. Well, listen, when we're willing to listen to God and let him guide our steps, we do get to be an angel to somebody else. We do get to show love where I may have missed it before. It was a divine appointment for sure, Sue. All right, I'm going to keep this as short as possible so people actually listen to it, because I'm trying to learn social media world, man. Can't go on and on and on as much as I want to. I love you. Have a beautiful rest of your day. If you're ever interested in anything else I'm up to, it's at abundantlyme.org. Bye. Or this website. Or I'm at Facebook page. Bye.